You pour a bowl of cereal. The label says it is heart healthy. The front shows whole grains and maybe some fruit. It seems like a good start to your day. You eat. You feel full. You even feel like you made a smart choice. But an hour later, something feels off. Your energy dips. You feel a little shaky. And suddenly, you are craving something sweet. So you reach for a granola bar, or maybe a slice of toast, just something to bring you back to balance. But instead, you feel more sluggish, more foggy, and more frustrated. What is happening? Here is the truth. Some of the most common foods in our kitchens, foods we have trusted for decades, can quietly send blood sugar soaring, and many of them do not even taste sweet. They hide behind health claims. They look familiar, they feel safe, but inside your body, they cause sharp spikes and deep crashes. And over time, those crashes begin to take a toll. After 60, your body changes. Your ability to process sugar slows down. Your cells become less sensitive to insulin. And even a small choice, like what you eat for breakfast, can have ripple effects on your energy, your focus, and your long-term health. The good news is that you are not powerless. Once you know which foods are causing these silent spikes and what to eat instead, you can take back control. You can stabilize your energy, improve your mood, and support your blood sugar naturally. In this video, we are going to walk through 10 everyday foods that seem harmless or even healthy, but may be working against you. You will learn what they are, how they affect your body, and the simple swaps you can make that are better for your blood sugar and easier on your metabolism. This is not about giving up everything you enjoy. It is about working with your body in a smarter, more supportive way. It is about making small changes that have a big impact over time. So if you have ever eaten something healthy and still felt tired, foggy, or hungry soon after, this will help connect the dots. And if you are focused on managing your blood sugar naturally, this video will help you avoid common mistakes, understand what is really happening inside your body, and discover better choices that are sustainable and effective. Let's begin. Before we get started, tap subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss a new video. And let us know in the comments, where are you watching from? We'd love to hear. Let's start with a staple that shows up in kitchens all across the country: white bread, white rice, and traditional pasta. They're familiar, easy to prepare, and for many of us, they've been comfort foods for decades. A sandwich at lunch, pasta with dinner, a scoop of white rice on the side. These foods have become part of our routine. But here's the problem. These refined carbohydrates are among the fastest digesting foods you can eat. That means the starches they contain are broken down into sugar almost immediately after you eat them. Once digested, they act almost like table sugar in the bloodstream, causing your blood glucose to rise rapidly. For someone over 60, that's especially important to understand. As we age, our insulin sensitivity declines. That means your body isn't as quick to shuttle sugar out of the blood and into the cells where it can be used for energy. So when you eat a meal heavy in refined carbs, your blood sugar can stay elevated longer. This leads to spikes and crashes that affect everything from your energy to your focus, and over time, it may raise your A1C. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirms this. Refined grains like white rice and white bread consistently rank high on the glycemic index, a system that measures how quickly foods raise blood sugar. Foods with a high glycemic index are linked to greater blood sugar variability, higher insulin demand, and increased risk of type 2 diabetes. Now imagine this happening day after day. A sandwich for lunch, pasta at dinner, maybe a bagel in the morning. That constant stream of fast carbs can wear down your blood sugar control, and many people don't even realize it's happening. Here's a more relatable picture. Think about this. You have a turkey sandwich on white bread for lunch. It tastes fine, it fills you up, but by mid-afternoon, you're nodding off or craving something sweet. That's not just aging, it's a blood sugar response. Your body spiked and crashed, leaving you feeling tired and off balance. Now, what if we made a simple switch? Instead of white bread, choose whole grain bread that's rich in fiber. Instead of white pasta, try lentil or chickpea-based pasta. And instead of white rice, go for brown rice, quinoa, or even barley. These foods still provide energy, but they digest more slowly. The fiber they contain helps steady the release of sugar into your bloodstream, giving your body more time to respond, and reducing the intensity of that post-meal crash. And you don't need to overhaul your entire diet. Even just replacing one refined carb per day with a fiber-rich whole grain can make a measurable difference in your blood sugar levels and how you feel. The goal is not to cut out all carbs, it's to choose smarter ones that work with your body, not against it. Coming up next, we'll talk about something even more surprising, how sugary drinks affect your blood sugar, even faster than most foods, and how one simple beverage change can help flatten those dangerous spikes. Now let's talk about something even more deceptive than white bread, something that doesn't even require chewing. Sugary drinks. Whether it's soda, sweet tea, a sports drink, or even a so-called healthy fruit beverage, these liquids hit your bloodstream faster than almost any solid food. Here's why. When you drink something with added sugar, there's nothing to slow it down. No fiber, no fat, no protein. Your body doesn't have to work very hard to break it down. Within minutes, that sugar rushes into your bloodstream, causing an immediate and sometimes dramatic spike in blood glucose. And for older adults whose insulin sensitivity is often lower, that spike can linger longer than it should. Over time, it may contribute to elevated A1C, fatigue after meals, and greater difficulty controlling hunger. Now let's put this into real-world context. Picture this. It's a hot day, and you grab a bottle of sweet tea. It goes down easy. But what you may not notice is that one bottle can contain over 40 grams of sugar. That's more than the recommended limit for an entire day, and it's absorbed almost instantly. You might not even feel it right away, but an hour later, you're tired, maybe even irritable, and craving something else, often more sugar. This isn't just theory. Studies published in journals like Diabetes Care have shown that sugary beverages are one of the leading contributors to blood sugar spikes and insulin resistance in adults over 50. In fact, regular consumption of sweetened drinks has been linked to a significantly higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. But here's the good news. This is also one of the easiest places to make a positive change. You don't have to give up flavor to give up sugar. Try switching to naturally flavored water. You can add slices of cucumber, lemon, or berries for taste. Herbal teas served cold can also be incredibly refreshing. Peppermint, hibiscus, or rooibos offer natural flavor with zero sugar. And if you still enjoy juice occasionally, dilute it with water and add a spoonful of chia seeds. The seeds add fiber, which slows absorption and helps buffer the glucose impact. The goal is not to eliminate joy, it's to hydrate in a way that supports your energy and your blood sugar rather than working against it. Just one smart beverage swap per day can reduce your sugar intake by dozens of grams and can make a real difference in how you feel. Next, we'll look at something millions of people eat every morning thinking it's healthy, but it may be setting them up for a full day of glucose highs and lows. Let's talk about breakfast. The meal, we're told, is the most important of the day. And for many people, especially older adults trying to eat better, that means reaching for a bowl of cereal, something that looks healthy. Maybe it says whole grain or lightly sweetened on the box. It feels like a smart choice. But here's what most people don't realize. Many breakfast cereals, especially the ones marketed as healthy, are loaded with added sugars and stripped of fiber. That combination sets the stage for a rapid blood sugar spike, followed by a mid-morning crash that leaves you feeling tired, foggy, and hungry all over again. You eat the cereal, feel full for a while, and then suddenly you're looking for a snack before lunchtime. It's not a lack of willpower, it's biology. When you eat refined grains and sugar, without fiber or protein to slow things down, your blood sugar rises quickly. And once it drops, your body sends a signal, usually in the form of cravings, to bring it back up. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, cereals with more than 6 grams of added sugar per serving and fewer than 3 grams of fiber are considered high risk for people managing diabetes or blood sugar concerns. And, unfortunately, that describes most of what's on grocery store shelves. Now here's a real-world example. You might think you're making a healthy choice by grabbing a bran cereal or an oat-based granola, but flip the box over. Some of those cereals contain as much sugar per serving as a glazed donut and far less fiber. And that's before you add milk or fruit. So what can you do instead? Start with slow-digesting, whole food options that offer fiber and protein. One excellent choice is steel-cut oats. They digest more slowly than instant oats and provide a steady source of energy. Add a few nuts, a spoonful of chia seeds, or a sprinkle of cinnamon, and you've got a balanced, blood sugar-friendly breakfast. If you prefer something quicker, look for high-fiber, low-sugar cereals, ideally ones with at least 5 grams of fiber and no more than 5 grams of added sugar per serving. And if you're not in the mood for grains at all, plain Greek yogurt can be a great alternative. It's high in protein, low in sugar, and pairs well with a few berries or a small handful of walnuts for flavor and balance. The key is to start your day with foods that give you lasting energy, not a sugar surge that leaves you chasing balance all morning. Making that one switch, just your breakfast, can help flatten your blood sugar curve for the entire day ahead. Up next, we're moving away from breakfast and into something you may grab on the go, a meal that seems filling but hides a dangerous combination that could be quietly sabotaging your insulin response. Not all blood sugar spikes come from sugar. Some of the most damaging meals for glucose control are not sweet at all. In fact, they often taste savory, salty, and satisfying. We're talking about fried foods and high-fat fast meals, fried chicken, French fries, deep-fried fish, even take-out egg rolls or fast food breakfast sandwiches. These meals may not raise red flags when it comes to sugar, but they can quietly disrupt your blood sugar balance in another way. Here's why. Fried foods are often made from refined carbohydrates, like white flour or white potatoes, then cooked in unhealthy oils that are high in saturated or trans fats. And it's this combination of refined starch and damaged fat that creates the problem. It doesn't raise blood sugar as quickly as soda or cereal, but over time, it contributes to something even more serious: Insulin resistance. Insulin resistance happens when your cells stop responding effectively to insulin, the hormone responsible for moving sugar out of your blood and into your tissues. And when that resistance builds, your blood sugar stays higher for longer, especially after meals. Research from the Harvard Th. Chan School of Public Health has found that people who regularly consume fried foods, especially more than 4 times a week, have a significantly higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. And that risk increases with age, as the body becomes more sensitive to dietary stresses. Now think about how common this is. You're driving home. It's late, you're tired, and grabbing something from the drive-thru feels easier than cooking. It's understandable. But those choices can quietly build up, day after day, week after week, creating a metabolic storm that's hard to see until it's already affecting your energy, your weight, or your blood sugar control. So what can you do instead? First, remember that convenience doesn't have to mean compromise. Start by choosing grilled proteins instead of fried. Grilled chicken, baked fish, or even a rotisserie turkey sandwich can deliver the same satisfaction without the glucose disruption. Pair that protein with fiber-rich vegetables or legumes. A grilled chicken wrap with spinach, a salmon salad, or even a warm bowl with roasted sweet potatoes and lentils. If you're ordering out, look for options that say baked, grilled, or steamed. And watch out for breading, creamy sauces, or extra-large portions. Those are often where the hidden starches and fats lie. The goal is not to eliminate all comfort food. It's to find smarter ways to enjoy it without sacrificing your blood sugar in the process, because every better choice you make builds resilience. And when it comes to blood sugar, small changes in your meals can lead to big improvements in how you feel each day. Coming up next, we'll look at something even more deceptive: packaged baked goods and snacks that look harmless on the shelf but can quietly raise your glucose with every bite. We all need something to nibble on between meals from time to time, but the snacks we reach for, especially the packaged ones, can quietly do more harm than we realize. Cookies, crackers, muffins, snack cakes, even many granola bars. These are the quick bites that line grocery store shelves and fill office break rooms. They're convenient, familiar, and often marketed with words like low-fat or made with whole grains. But behind the label, most of these foods share a dangerous trio: refined white flour, added sugar, and unhealthy fats, often in the form of trans fats or hydrogenated oils. This combination doesn't just cause a spike in blood sugar, it hits from multiple angles. First, the refined flour is digested rapidly, turning into sugar almost as soon as it reaches your stomach. Second, the added sugar boosts that spike even further. And third, the damaged fats impair your body's ability to respond to insulin effectively, making it harder to bring those glucose levels back down. It's a perfect storm for metabolic stress. And over time, regular snacking on these types of foods can raise your A1C, increase inflammation, and make you feel more tired, bloated, and hungry throughout the day. You might think, but it's just a cookie or just one granola bar, and occasionally, that's fine. But if snacks like these are part of your daily routine, they may be one of the hidden reasons why your energy is inconsistent, your blood sugar won't stabilize, or your weight is harder to manage. Now let's look at the alternative and the good news. Snacking doesn't have to be the enemy. In fact, the right kind of snack can help keep your blood sugar steady between meals and reduce overeating later on. Start by choosing snacks that include fiber, healthy fat, or protein. ideally all three. A small handful of almonds or walnuts provides healthy fat and a bit of protein, and a square of dark chocolate, ideally 70% cacao or higher, can satisfy a sweet craving without causing a glucose crash, especially when paired with a few nuts or a piece of fruit. If you like to bake, try homemade muffins made with almond flour, oats, or flaxseed. Sweeten them lightly with mashed banana or a touch of cinnamon instead of sugar. Even a plain rice cake with nut butter and a few chia seeds on top can make a great blood sugar-friendly snack. Simple, satisfying, and easy on your system. The goal isn't to stop snacking, it's to upgrade your choices so your body gets sustained energy rather than short bursts followed by a crash. Because when you give your body the right kind of fuel, even in small amounts, it knows how to respond. You feel more stable, more focused, and more in control of your appetite throughout the day. Next, we'll explore something even more obvious: candy and sweet treats. We all know they're sugary, but what they do inside the body might surprise you. Most of us already know that candy isn't the healthiest choice. But what often gets overlooked is how it affects your body, especially after 60. Candy and sweet treats are made almost entirely of simple sugars. There's no fiber, no protein, no fat, nothing to slow them down. Which means as soon as you eat them, that sugar enters your bloodstream at full speed, and the result is immediate. Within minutes, blood glucose levels rise sharply. Your body scrambles to release insulin, and, depending on your sensitivity, that insulin may not work as efficiently as it once did. The crash often comes soon after: a drop in energy, a sense of fatigue, maybe even irritability or brain fog. And for some people, that crash leads straight to the next craving. It becomes a loop. This isn't about willpower, it's about biology. Your body is responding exactly as it's wired to. But over time, these repeated spikes and crashes can make blood sugar harder to control and increase the long-term risk of complications. Now, that doesn't mean you have to give up sweetness altogether. There are smarter ways to satisfy a sweet tooth without putting your glucose levels through a roller coaster. One of the simplest options: frozen grapes. They're cold, naturally sweet, and because they contain fiber and water, they digest more slowly than candy. Even just a small handful can satisfy a craving while giving your body something nourishing. Another excellent choice is fresh apple slices paired with a tablespoon of almond butter. The fiber from the apple and the healthy fat from the almonds work together to keep blood sugar steady and hunger in check. If you're looking for a little indulgence, a few squares of dark chocolate, 70% cacao or higher, can also be a blood sugar-friendly treat, especially when enjoyed after a balanced meal. The key here isn't restriction, it's intention. Choose sweets that offer something back, whether it's fiber, healthy fat, or a slower digestion rate. Your body will thank you for it. Let's pause for a moment. Have any of these surprised you so far? Let us know in the comments below. Your experiences, your tips, they help others in this community feel supported and less alone. We read every message, and we'd love to hear from you. Coming up next, we'll tackle a surprising staple in many kitchens: white rice. It looks harmless. It's part of so many traditional meals. But when it comes to blood sugar, it may be doing more damage than you think. White rice is a comfort food for many people. It's simple, soft, easy to digest, and it pairs well with almost anything, from stir-fry to stews to grilled fish. But when it comes to blood sugar, White rice carries a hidden risk that most people never see coming. It has a very high glycemic index. In some cases, it can raise blood sugar even faster than table sugar itself. Here's why. White rice has been stripped of its outer layers, the bran and the germ. What's left is mostly starch. And without the fiber and healthy fats that slow digestion, that starch is broken down rapidly into glucose. Within minutes, your blood sugar can climb sharply. And without enough fiber or protein in the meal to buffer it, you may feel a noticeable energy dip not long after eating. Studies have shown that frequent consumption of white rice is associated with a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes, especially in older adults and those with prediabetes. One study published in the journal BMJ found that each additional daily serving of white rice was linked to an 11% increase in diabetes risk. And the effect is amplified when rice is combined with other fast-digesting foods like sweet sauces, breaded proteins, or sugary drinks. Now you might be thinking, but I've eaten rice all my life. And that's valid. White rice is deeply embedded in many cultural and traditional diets. But here's what matters most. It's not about never eating rice again. It's about how often you eat it, how much you eat, and what you eat it with. There are also better alternatives that are just as satisfying and far easier on your blood sugar. For example, quinoa is a high-protein grain that contains fiber and all 9 essential amino acids, and it digests more slowly and helps stabilize blood sugar after meals. Barley is another strong choice, rich in soluble fiber, which has been shown to reduce post-meal glucose spikes and improve insulin response. Brown rice, while similar to white rice in calories, retains its outer layers. That added fiber slows digestion and gives your body more time to process the glucose. If you love rice and want to keep it in your meals, try cutting the portion in half and mixing it with vegetables, legumes, or a handful of nuts. Adding healthy fat or fiber to your plate can reduce the impact of the rice itself. You don't need to give up the foods you love. You just need to give your body more support when you eat them. In the next segment, we'll look at a food many people choose because they think it's healthy, flavored yogurt. But inside that cup might be more sugar than you bargained for. Yogurt is one of those foods that most people consider healthy by default. It's in the refrigerated section next to fruit. The packaging often shows honey, berries, maybe even a message about probiotics or gut health. It seems like a smart, balanced choice, especially for breakfast or an afternoon snack. But here's the part many people miss. Flavored yogurts, especially the fruit on the bottom or dessert-style varieties, can contain more sugar than a slice of cake or a scoop of ice cream. In fact, one small container of flavored yogurt can have anywhere from 18 to 30 grams of sugar. That's the equivalent of 6 to 8 teaspoons, hidden in something marketed as nutritious. What makes it worse is how quickly that sugar hits your bloodstream. Because yogurt is soft and already partially broken down, your body absorbs the sugars even faster than it would from solid food. That means a rapid glucose spike followed by the usual crash, and for people over 60, that quick swing in blood sugar can translate to fatigue, irritability, brain fog, or hunger soon after eating. So why is yogurt still on the list of recommended foods in so many health guides? Because not all yogurt is the same. The problem isn't yogurt itself, it's what's added to it, especially processed fruit syrups, sweeteners, thickeners, and flavoring agents. If you strip that away, yogurt can actually be one of the best foods for blood sugar support. The solution? choose plain Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is naturally higher in protein, lower in sugar, and more satisfying than many other dairy products. It has a creamy texture, supports gut health, and provides calcium and probiotics, all without the added sugar. And if you're craving flavor, there's a simple way to dress it up. Add a handful of fresh berries. They bring sweetness and antioxidants, but with fiber that helps slow digestion. Sprinkle a little cinnamon on top. It not only adds depth, but may also support healthy blood sugar levels, according to emerging research. And if you want extra texture, a spoonful of ground flaxseed or chia seeds can turn it into a complete blood sugar-friendly meal. This way, you keep the benefits of yogurt without the glucose roller coaster. So next time you're in the dairy aisle, look past the bright colors and marketing claims. Flip the container over. Look at the sugar content. Aim for plain, unsweetened varieties and then customize them yourself with ingredients your body knows how to handle. Up next, we'll take a closer look at something that often sounds healthy because of its label, low-fat packaged foods. But what's left out is only half the story. For years, we were told that fat was the enemy. Low-fat yogurt, low-fat cookies, low-fat salad dressings. Entire grocery aisles are filled with products proudly advertising how little fat they contain. And for many people trying to manage their health, especially their weight or cholesterol, those labels became the default choice. But when it comes to blood sugar control, here's something you need to know. Low fat does not mean low sugar. In fact, in many packaged foods, when fat is removed, sugar or refined starch is added in its place to make the product taste good, feel satisfying, and keep its shelf appeal. That swap may reduce the fat on the label, but it often increases the blood sugar impact in your body. Take low-fat fruit yogurt, for example, or a low-fat granola bar. Often, these products have more added sugar than their full-fat versions, and the lack of fat means they digest faster, spiking glucose levels even more quickly, and leaving you hungry again shortly after. It's a problem of balance. Fat plays an important role in slowing digestion and promoting satiety, that sense of fullness that helps you stop eating when you're satisfied. Without it, meals and snacks may lead to faster digestion, sharper blood sugar swings, and stronger cravings later on. Research, published in the Journal of Nutrition, supports this. Meals that include healthy fats, such as those from nuts, seeds, olive oil, or avocados, tend to reduce post-meal blood sugar response compared to fat-free versions of the same meals. So how do you make smarter choices? Start by looking past the low-fat label. Instead, ask, what's in this food that will keep me full and steady? Whole foods with natural, healthy fats are a far better option. Think of a handful of walnuts with fruit instead of a low-fat cereal bar, or a salad dressed with extra virgin olive oil instead of fat-free dressing loaded with corn syrup and preservatives. If you're choosing packaged products, flip the label over. Check the sugar content and the ingredient list. A short list with whole ingredients is usually a better sign than any front-of-package claim. And remember, fat itself isn't the problem. It's the type of fat that matters. Unsaturated fats from plant-based sources, like avocados, almonds, and flaxseed, can actually support heart health and blood sugar balance, especially when paired with fiber and protein. In the end, the goal isn't to fear fat, it's to choose the right kind and to avoid foods that remove fat, only to replace it with sugar. Coming up next, we'll finish our list with something surprisingly indulgent: nut butters and spreads. They seem healthy, but sometimes they're hiding more than you bargained for. Nut butters are often seen as a healthy choice. They're creamy, satisfying, and packed with protein and healthy fats. Peanut butter on toast. Almond butter with apple slices. A little spread can go a long way toward making a snack feel complete. But here's the catch. Not all nut butters are created equal. And if you're buying the sweetened versions, the ones with added sugar, oils, or artificial flavorings, what you're really getting is a metabolic trap. Sugar, combined with fat, is one of the most potent triggers for blood sugar spikes and long-term fat storage. Here's why. When sugar is absorbed quickly into the bloodstream, your body responds with a wave of insulin. But when that sugar is paired with processed fat, as is often the case in sweetened spreads, it can lead to a situation where the sugar gets stored more readily as body fat. At the same time, the fat slows digestion just enough to keep the insulin response elevated for longer. This 1-2 punch is especially concerning for older adults whose insulin sensitivity may already be declining. Take flavored peanut butters, for example. Many contain added sugar, palm oil, and stabilizers. They may taste great, but they digest fast, spike blood sugar, and can leave you feeling more tired or hungrier soon after. Nutella and cookie butter are even worse. These aren't just nut spreads, they're essentially desserts packaged as snacks. A few tablespoons can contain as much sugar as a candy bar. So what can you do instead? Look for natural nut butters with only 1 or 2 ingredients, the nut itself, and maybe a pinch of salt. These spreads provide healthy fat and protein without the sugar overload. You can also try tahini, a spread made from ground sesame seeds. It's smooth, earthy, and contains calcium, magnesium, and healthy fats. Pair it with sliced cucumber or spread it on whole grain toast for a blood sugar-friendly option. Another great choice is avocado spread. It's creamy, rich, and full of fiber and monounsaturated fats, which help support heart health and steady energy levels. The goal is not to avoid fat or even sweetness entirely. It's to eliminate the hidden sugar-fat combinations that disrupt your metabolism. Once you start reading labels and tasting real food, you may be surprised by how little added sweetness you actually need. That wraps up our list of 10 common foods that can quietly spike blood sugar. But we're not done yet. In the final section, we'll recap everything you've learned today and show you how to turn this information into real change, starting with your next meal. So what did we learn? Managing blood sugar isn't just about cutting sugar from your diet. It's about understanding how everyday foods affect your body, especially as we get older. The truth is, some of the biggest spikes don't come from desserts or candy. They come from foods we've trusted for years: cereal, white bread, packaged snacks, even flavored yogurt. But here's the good news. You don't need to give everything up. Just making 1 or 2 simple swaps, like choosing steel-cut oats instead of sugary cereal or switching soda for herbal tea, can create real, noticeable changes in how you feel. More energy, fewer crashes, better focus, and steadier glucose levels throughout the day. These are the kinds of changes that build on each other, quietly, consistently, and powerfully. So here's your challenge. Try replacing just one of these hidden blood sugar spikers this week. Watch how your body responds, how your energy, your mood, and even your appetite begin to shift. And then let us know, what healthy swaps have worked for you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience might help someone else on the same journey. If you found this video helpful, give it a like. Share it with someone you care about who's also navigating blood sugar ups and downs. And don't forget to subscribe. We post clear, compassionate health advice every week, designed specifically for older adults who want to feel better, live stronger, and stay informed without all the hype. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.